Hello, hope I'm doing well, and welcome back to Worship Wednesday. Today's subject is Natori, the Little Dragon. Launched on February 16th, 1922 as a third ship of the Nagara-class light cruisers, Natori was named after the Natori River in the Miyagi Prefecture in Japan, keeping the name convention of all her class being named after rivers. Soon after commissioning, Natori was assigned to patrolling the Chinese coast throughout the remainder of the 1920s and for most of the 1930s. By 1938, she was based in Taiwan and was covering the Japanese landings in southern China in the Second Sino-Japanese War. In 1940, Japan sponsored a peace conference to end the armed conflict that broke out between Siam, which is now Thailand, and French Indochina, which is now Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, that general area. And the preliminary peace documents were signed aboard Natori between Vichy, France, and the Kingdom of Siam on January 31st, 1941. From November 1941, Natori became flagship of a destroyer squadron, which was her class's point. Their mission goal was to be destroyer squadron leaders, be flagships. And this was part of the Philippine invasion force and was covering the landings, where she suffered minor damage from B-17 flying fortresses. Nothing too serious, but she had to get some repairs done. And after she was repaired, she continued ferrying transports in the northern Philippines until about Christmas time. And then on December 26th, so right after Christmas, Boxing Day, she was reassigned to escort duty in southern Siam, and she was escorting troops for the invasion of Singapore that was coming up. Later, she was reassigned again to cover landings during the invasion of the Dutch East Indies, which is now Indonesia, and she participated in the Battle of Sunda Strait. I couldn't find too much about this, about her involvement, other than she was there. This took place on February 28th, 1942, in which USS Houston and HMAS Perth, so this is Royal Australian ship, were both sunk. Victoria then spent her time doing various duties in the Indonesian islands when she was damaged by a near miss that was bad enough that she was forced to return to Japan for excessive repairs and modernization. Just because the bomb doesn't hit you doesn't mean it can't do a lot of damage, so, especially for these smaller ships. For her modernization, she lost two of her main guns and gained a twin 127mm AA gun, as well as two triple 25mm anti-air guns in return, as well as an air search radar and hydrophone. So a lot of her class ended up getting upgraded with better anti-air as the air threat from the Americans became more and more severe. Her upgrades and repairs completed on April 1st, 1944, and Natori was once again assigned to be flagship of a destroyer squadron. It was then transporting Imperial Japanese Army detachments to the Philippines and remained stationed in Davao throughout August. While missing out in the Battle of the Philippine Sea, she was just being guard duty around Davao. The Natori was spotted by USS Bluegill on July 20th, 1944, but the submarine couldn't get a good firing angle on her, and so Notorio just proceeded on her task. What she was doing was she was evacuating Japanese Korean comfort women from Palu to Davao. Shortly thereafter, Notoria's end finally came on August 18th, 1944, when she was spotted guarding transports by the USS Hardhead, a submarine, east of San Bernardino Strait, about 200 miles off Samar. Hardhead fired a spread of 5 torpedoes. Only one of them hit, but it struck one of her portside boilers and stopped her dead in her tracks. And this gave Hardhead a chance to fire another spread of torpedoes, and this time four of them. Only one hit, but it was enough to sink Natori, and she went down, with her survivors being rescued by a couple of U.S. submarines, not the Hardhead, but other ones, and some Japanese destroyers, and a couple of her boats were found later on. So for her skills, Hiranuma's protection. Now, the only thing I could find about Hiranuma as an actual name was the Japanese politician, but I think the reason being is when USS Hardhead spotted Natori, Hardhead said she was a battleship, said Natori was a battleship, and claimed to have sunk a battleship, and they sunk Natori. And I'm guessing what they name they went with was Hiranuma, and they gave that name based off the Japanese politician, when in fact it was just Natori. And then close by being a dragon, I'm thinking, and her design being a small dragon, I'm thinking just because she was mistaken to be a battleship for whatever reason, with barely any main guns on her. Her main guns originally were 5.5 inches, so smaller than the U.S. Brooklyn class. So maybe she gets this design and calls herself a dragon because of this mistaken identity. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, that's all I got for Natori. Hope you found this interesting. Hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.